The guy turns out to be trapped in a spatial loop in an underground passage and is desperately trying to find exit 8 to get out. He has to follow certain rules, and if he accidentally breaks them, his route begins anew. In the subway car, the main character flips through the news feed on social networks on his smartphone and suddenly hears the cry of a baby. One of the passengers of the car starts shouting at the mother of the crying baby, reproaching her that she should not ride in a crowded car with the child. The main character, like the rest of the passengers, tries to ignore what is happening, and no one stands up for the mother. The main character gets a call from his ex-girlfriend, and he leaves the station to take the call. The girl shocks him with the news. She is pregnant and says she didn't want to call him, but the doctor at the hospital insisted on it. The girl understands that they have already decided to break up and remember that he never wanted children, but still curious what he thinks about it. The shocked guy can't find the words, drops the phone, and then he has an asthma attack. He has to use an inhaler to stop it. Then he informs her that he will come to her hospital and wants to know if she will leave him. However, the metro connection is interrupted. He does not receive a response. Once in the transition, the guy rushes to exit number 8 and passes by a strange man. Going further, he notices that the transition does not end, but this man passes by him again and again. The guy begins to realize that something is wrong here. At one point, the creepy man stops behind him, causing him to accelerate out of fear. The guy notices this person again, decides to go back, but finds himself in the same transition. He tries to find a way out through the metal doors, but they all turn out to be locked. On one of the posters, he notices an image of the infinity symbol, and then in the form of blood flowing from the ceiling. After that, he runs back and notices the changes. The inscription on the sign is no longer exit 0, but now there is one exit. The guy reads an information sign next to it, which says that if anomalies are found, it will be necessary to return, and if there are none, go further. Follow the simple rules. He will be able to get out of here by reaching the coveted exit 8. Having finally realized that he was sharding in a spatial loop, the guy tries to talk to the man, but he, as before, passes by him with a cold glass gaze. Then the main character goes on without finding anything strange and turns out to be at exit 0, which means that he missed the anomaly and has to start the path again. In order not to commit such a mistake again, the guy photographs all the objects, posters, doors, fire hydrant, ventilation, and others to compare them with objects. In the next transition, you definitely can't make a mistake. Going forward again, he finds himself at the exit alone, which means that there was no anomaly. Then trouble awaits him. All the photos taken in the transition on the smartphone have gone bad. Apparently, the abnormal game does not like cheaters and forces the guy to play honestly. He looks through all the posters, but discovers an anomaly to the man and goes back, which leads him to exit 2. Then he checks all the items in the transition and almost passes it, but suddenly he hears a child crying from the storage room, which makes it clear to him that he needs to return.
The guy turns out to be at exit 3, which means that so far everything is going well. Then he almost passes the crossing again, but in time, he notices how the big-eyed posters are looking at him. The guy quickly steps back, finding himself at exit 4. Then he also conducts an inspection of objects and, finding anomalies, passes forward, having already reached exit 5. Realizing that there is very little left, he, feeling relieved, continues to walk. The guy examines the objects again and suddenly receives a call from an ex-girlfriend. He's not sure if it's an anomaly or not, but he takes the call. The girl asks where he is, and he replies that he is still in the subway and walking in circles because he got lost. She is not surprised. He is poorly oriented in space. He then asks her about her condition, and she says she hasn't decided what to do yet. The guy again does not know what to answer her and tells about today's case with the subway baby, accusing others that no one stood up for her, although he himself did nothing at that moment. He starts crying and tells her that such an indifferent person like him can hardly be a good father, after which he promises to find a way out as soon as possible and come to her. During the conversation, he goes forward and returns to exit 0, thereby making a mistake because it turned out to be an anomaly. A disappointed, tearful guy starts the journey anew. This time, the transition is illuminated with an orange light. The guy has a nervous breakdown. He is sick at first, and then he experiences asthmatic suffocation again. Leave the backpack on the floor, he comes back, realizing that the light is another anomaly. Once at exit 1, he goes forward, bumping into the boy, and then comes back again, but comes to exit 0, which makes it clear that the boy is not an anomaly. He sees the youngster again, who soon rushes forward and begins to follow him. The boy points his finger at the man, to which the guy answers him that this is not a person. Then the audience is shown the events a little earlier on behalf of this man, who, like the main character, is stuck in this abnormal transition. He walks back and forth with the silent child, trying, as befits the rules of the game, to look for anomalies. He also has a young girl acting as a strange passerby. The man gets to exit 5 and again looks for anomalies and objects, when suddenly the same girl starts talking to him. She says that she got lost here and assumes that he is also lost. The man says that the boy is also lost here. Then the girl asks him where he thinks they are. She believes that perhaps they are already dead and have fallen into hell or purgatory. Men are intimidated by her reasoning, and then the girl reports that she constantly sees an old man coming around the corner here and is surprised that this time he did not appear. She comes closer to the man with a passionate, frightening intonation and tells him that returning for him may not be the best idea. He should stay here. Everyday trips home to work, work to home, and repetitive routine chores are a true hell. The girl repeats the last phrase several times and then begins to behave terribly. Realizing that this is an anomaly, the men and the boy run back, ending up at exit 6. After examining everything as usual, the man finds no anomalies, while the boy, without looking away, looks at the door. The man asks him not to be afraid and to continue the journey, as there is very little left, and he does not want to get stuck here. He takes him by the hand and runs forward with him, but after a few seconds, he realizes that they are at exit 0, and he's simply screwed up. The man begins to have a fit of rage, and he tears off the information plate, after which he begins to sob, saying out loud that he wants to return to his son. The man wakes up, takes the boy by the hand, and tries to stay positive. For the sake of going forward, he sees exit 8 and is glad that they finally got there. However, the boy tries to stop him and begins to resist. The man asks the youngster to go with him, but when he does not agree, the bullet man goes up the stairs saying out loud that he is not to blame for leaving the boy. The child returns back because it was not an 8, but a symbol of infinity. And he comes to the exit alone. He sees the same man, only this time he doesn't pay attention to it, passing by like a robot. Then the boy tries to pull it, but it doesn't do anything. Now it's not that uncle, but a soulless NPC. The boy turns out to be at exit 0 and goes forward, meeting our main character. The audience returns to the moment when the boy points at the man and the main character tells him that this is not a person. The guy examines objects, does not notice anomalies, but the child sees her. They go ahead and find themselves at exit 0. The guy who has undergone another mistake gets upset again and continues the game together with the boy. In the next transition, it seems to him that there's a slightly different poster on the wall, but the boy runs forward and he follows him. As a result, both of them end up at exit 1. The guys understand that perhaps the taciturn boy should be trusted. Then the boy finds the anomaly again, and returning back together, they find themselves at exit 2. They go on, but in the next crossing, the light suddenly goes out, and the guy turns on the flashlight on his smartphone. Outright horror begins to happen. There's blood, disturbing sounds of a baby, and a crowd of rats, each of which grows some part of a human face. The guy takes the boy by the hand and comes back. A light appears, and they find themselves at exit 3. In the next transition, they see a black cat, then the ex-girlfriend of the main character. The boy informs him that this is his mother and wants to get closer to her. The guy stops him, explaining that this is an anomaly, not his mother. The boy loses consciousness, and the guy picks him up and returns back. At exit 4, he waits until she's gone, wakes up, and after he wakes up, the guy starts a conversation with him. He believes that he was separated from his mother, but the child replies that it is his fault. He ran away from her on purpose because he wanted her to find him. The guy says that he also did such a stupid thing as a child. The guy asks where his dad is, and the boy replies that he hasn't seen him, but that the guy tells him that he hasn't seen his dad. They continue on their way, and the boy notices the anomaly again. They reach exit 5, and in the next crossing, the guy notices how one of the metal doors opened. He looks inside the room and sees himself at the very moment in the subway when a passenger was yelling at the baby's mother.
It makes him uncomfortable that he ignored it. He closes the door, and they walk back, finding themselves at exit 6. The guy asks the boy what he will do first, how he will get out of here. The boy replies that he wants to eat a pizza with double cheese, which makes the guy smile. But he himself does not know what he will do. Suddenly, the boy gives the main character a shell, and the guy thanks him for it. In the next crossing, the guy does not hear the siren either, sensing danger, hugging the boy to himself. Suddenly, the passage begins to flood with a stream of dirty water, and the heroes try to escape, but the boy stumbles and hides them both underwater. In the next scene, we are shown a beach where the main character is standing with his ex-girlfriend, or perhaps already his wife and son. The girl tells him that he is now a father, to which the hero replies that he does not always understand how to be the right father. She explains, "Almost no one knows how to be right. The main thing is that you protect this child, and the day will come when the child will be able to protect you." After that, the boy runs up to his parents, shows the found shell, and gives it to his dad. In response, Dad hugs him tightly, then plays with him by the water. Now the audience is shown a flooded passage. The guy asks the boy to hold on tightly to the pointer on the ceiling so that he does not get carried away by the stream. However, soon the main character is carried away by the stream. The boy regains consciousness in the passage, discovering a bunch of dirty things brought here by a stream of water. He goes back and comes to the exit at 7. After that, the last transition passes without finding any anomalies and gets to exit 8. Then I show the main character to the audience, who scrupulously checks objects for anomalies in the last transition. Having found nothing, he hopes that he was not mistaken and goes forward, finding himself at exit number 8. He looks at the shell given by the boy and then goes down, soon finding himself in an ordinary Japanese subway. The guy buys a bottle of water to quench his excruciating thirst, then puts on headphones and goes back to the subway, not to the exit, and calls the girl. He informs her that he is going to her hospital, to which the girl asks him what decision she should make. The guy ignored it, repeating that he would arrive soon. He enters the subway car, where the scene from the beginning of the film repeats. The passenger shouts at the baby's mother. This time, the main character decides to stand up for the mother and child.